So the first stage in any spiritual progress is the ability to stay centered and be present in between action and reaction. You can't even begin to work at the core. You're not even working at the periphery if all that happens is you react. This work of keeping the center, keeping the consciousness, is begun in meditation, but it's really practiced in daily life. It is possible to remain conscious every moment, all day. From the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, do not doubt that it is possible to constantly, effortlessly be aware of what is happening outside of you, what are the reactions that it is hitting and responding inside of you, and you can see what impulses and urges would have driven you to say or do behavior or reaction. But you're perfectly capable of sitting there, breathing, relaxing, and just being aware that this is the dance of creation. Things are happening, people are saying things are going one way or another, and as they come into your world, they cause the change in the energy fields inside of you, which create the tendency. They don't create action, they create the tendency toward action. They cause your thoughts to start to manifest a certain way. They cause your emotions to begin to express a certain way. And normally, they would cause your mouth to move and certain words to come out. They would cause you to walk toward or away. They would run your life. The truth is that if you do this, you go nowhere. You have to understand that reacting to the environment outside of you keeps you in the karmic patterns of the way that you work. There is a reason that certain stimuli cause certain tendencies of reaction. Do not call this natural. That is a misuse of the word natural. Nowadays, when we say it's natural, it spontaneously came up in me, it was what I felt really, somehow we place something holy on that. It's your karmic patterns. If a certain stimuli happens, almost everyone in this room will have a different reaction. There are some, like a lion jumps out or something, we all tend to have the same reaction, all right? But most stimuli that happen during the course of a day, we think that everybody is having the same reaction. You're crazy. It is all dependent upon the past patterns and some scars that you have stored inside of you that determine how your energy will change because of a certain stimuli. It's an extremely personal thing. So don't make it so holy. You have to be willing to let it go if you want to work at a deeper level of your being. If you're only going to work at the level of reaction, you're not working. It's just what naturally takes place. And that natural is not so natural. And what it will do is keep you caught within your karmic patterns. If you have a certain fear due to past experiences, and somebody happens to touch it inadvertently, whatever, they say a certain thing, they act a certain way, they stand a little too close, they take a step back when you're trying to talk to them, even the tiniest little thing, this will hit that past samskara. That will cause a tendency toward reaction, a shift in your energy flow. What happens in there is phenomenal because of the slightest thing that happens outside, it causes this change in your inner being. Your reaction to that will always be in harmony with that pattern. Therefore, you will talk or act or do in accordance to that pattern, and you will then set into motion behavior that will cause the other person to respond in accordance to your response, and you are creating your environment outside in accordance to your environment inside. It's a phenomenal thing to watch. If you get angry, you will cause the other person to get angry. If you get hurt, you will cause hurt to take place outside. And then you will feel completely justified that this is actually what took place in that interaction. and you don't realize that it isn't what took place. It's just the reaction that happened in you, and that can change. So there is no work on yourself until you can remain conscious. You have to do whatever you can do, meditate, anything that you possibly can do, just to be able to remain conscious during the course of every single interaction of every single day. There is never a reason to lose your center. No matter what anybody does, no matter what happens to you, you have to be capable of knowing that it is happening to you. Now you have earned the right that most people don't have, is to figure out, now what do I do? Because it's a frightening state to become conscious of where you're at. You'll immediately think that you're going backwards. The more conscious you get in the beginning, the more you think you're slipping on the path. Why? Because you start seeing all this stuff that you never saw before. You start seeing all these reactive tendencies. What in the world is going on inside of me? How did I get so ugly? How did I get so scared? How did I get so fearful? How did I get so reactive? This yoga is messing me up. That's what people tend to feel. They feel all that reaction happen inside of them, and they think they're going the wrong way. Eventually, you catch on that this has been going on inside of you your whole life, and you have been acting accordingly based on how your mother treated you, your father treated you, anything that happened in your whole life. You're just responding and reacting accordingly. Once you meditate enough, or you do whatever it is that you need to do, then stimuli happen outside. They will certainly hit what is inside of you, and they will cause a change in your energy. The difference now is you feel that. You're aware of that. And the beginning of working deeper within yourself is that you don't go with that. I think the beginning of spirituality is self-discipline. That's what all the masters taught. It's even the heart of the religious teachings, is until you can master yourself, you have no possibility of going any deeper. So you're taught to fast. There's periods of fasting. There's periods of silence. There's so many different things that are taught. They have no meaning in and of themselves. There's no great thing in not eating. There's no great thing in not talking. It is the ability to not eat. It is the ability to not talk when you want to talk. It is the ability to sit in the presence of people when you're uncomfortable and watch that silent period that happens when nobody's talking and your heart gets all weird and your stomach gets weird and your mind starts thinking a mile a minute of things to say that will start a conversation up, and you start noticing how uncomfortable you are. Spirituality is being comfortable in that uncomfortable state. Spirituality is the ability to not talk when you want to talk, because you see that the impetus for any words that you would say are completely impure. You are coming from a place of insecurity. Therefore, anything that you say is not a conversation worth having, because it's just being said for the wrong reason. And so you learn to practice the disciplines. It's essential to be able to do this, to where when you most want to talk because you're uncomfortable, you keep your mouth shut. When you most want something because it caused a reaction inside of you, and somebody said something, you most want them to say they're sorry, or they better take it back, or say that they didn't mean it. Every single thing inside of you is burning and just wants to do something about it. Spirituality is the ability to do nothing about it, because nothing you're going to gain through that outer experience really has any effect of change inside of you. If that's what you do, is start a conversation when you feel uncomfortable, not walk into a room because you're afraid people will notice you. If somebody says something that you don't like, you find ways to write or say or do things to get them to be sorry so they'll never say it again. In other words, if you manipulate your environment so that you're feeling okay, that is the epitome of working at the surface. What's going to change? You've by definition said, not me. I'm not going to change. These energies are going to react the way that they react. I'm going to honor them as though they were something holy. And what's going to change is you. You're going to change your attitude. You're going to change how you talk to me. You're going to change when you come. You're going to change when you go. Every single person and thing around me is going to go through some serious change, aren't they? And I'm going to make sure that they do. I'm going to let them know that they are not to talk to me that way. I'm going to let them know that I will not tolerate this, that this should not be this way, that this is wrong. I'm going to argue with them. I'm going to prove it to them, whatever it is. In other words, nothing in here is saying I will change. Everything in here is saying I will not change. I am fine the way I am. In fact, I'm the highest one around here. Okay? I'm the one who's clear. I have it right. And everything out there is to change. Why? Just get it straight what you're saying so that I don't have to change because I am not going to change. That's not even working at the surface, is it? That's called not working. You've decided not to work on yourself. Please look at that. How can personal change take place in that environment? So you attempt to use all of this reactive energy that comes up inside of you to gain control over the people, places, and things outside of you so that you don't have to change. And what you're doing is reinforcing these energies. Every single time something comes up inside of you, that you feel someone doesn't like you or that you feel afraid or you want something, and you respond accordingly to your outer environment, you are saying to these energies, yes, you are right, I agree with you, you are the way I want to be, come up and express yourself and strengthen yourself. And you build habits of energies flowing that way. So all of that is not yoga. When you want to grow, you wake up and you realize growth is about me changing. It is not about me changing my environment. It is about my environment changing me. If I want to change, I have to at least work with these energies that react inside of me. Now you get the first step down. And we've talked about before, I don't think there's any way to take that step inside until you stop putzing with the outside. You have to be willing, like I said, to not eat when you want to eat, to be silent when you want to talk. The stronger the impulses, the more fun it is. And you get tremendously strong within yourself to realize that you're the captain of your own ship. You must take control over these reactive energies that are inside of you. So the first step of working at the deeper parts inside of you is to not go with yourself. Under what situations should you go with yourself? When you decide that you don't want to grow. When you decide you're tired of growing and you want to stay the way you are and you really want these energies to be disturbing you inside, then give them the right to run your life and dump on somebody. Because that's what you're doing. I can't handle the energy inside of me and you're going to be sorry that you're anywhere near me. Not to mention that I can blame it on you. That I can in some way, shape, or form say, you made me feel this way. Therefore, these are your energies, not mine, and I'm going to let you know what they feel like. And you sit there and try to dump the energies out. So you stop doing this. You just stop it. How? I won't answer that. If somebody comes to me and says, I understand everything you're saying and I really think I need to work with myself, but I don't know how to do it. That's a lie. Because the truth of the matter is, you want to do it, you do it. You don't want to do it, you don't do it. You're sitting there, you start feeling uncomfortable, that no conversation's taking place, and your mind says, God, the weather. No, I don't want to talk about the weather, that's stupid. It says, oh, I want her sister. How's her sister? Okay, I can ask her about it. No, I don't want to ask about her sister. She'll know I'm just making conversation. Anybody ever have anything like that go on there? Then you take super glue. You put it on your lips, all right? And you sit there and say, sooner the sun and moon, as the Yukteswar used to say, sooner the sun and moon should change places than this mouth is opening and this tongue is flapping, all right? Because I know that I'm full of it, all right? I see where I'm coming from, and I don't want to be that person. I will not be that person. That is not denial, you're not suppressing. That is called consciousness, awareness. And you are using your willpower in order to at least start an environment of transformation. So when you want out, you will do this. If you don't want out, you will find there's 1,000 million excuses not to do it. And don't you dare go anywhere else when you're finding excuses not to do it and expect someone to do it for you or teach you how to do it or come up with some magic technique that's going to make it so you don't have to do it. You have to want out more than you want to make it be comfortable for yourself. So you keep your mouth shut, and now what happens? Now you begin to work deeper inside of you. And what you end up with is you end up working with yourself. never is the work with other people. Don't ever get caught thinking you're somebody else's teacher, or that in this situation you have to make sure somebody understands. If you work with yourself, you will change the vibrations all around you, and everybody will grow, not just you. If you decide that you're right and others are wrong, and you use these energies inside of you to change other people, wait till you see what happens. Nobody changes. All you do is fight. You end up fighting with people. There is no reason to fight.